afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. You continue to be with us here at CNN News 18. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. Members of Parliament will now have to mind their language as just days ahead of the Parliament session. A ban has been implemented on words that have now been deemed unparliamentary. Let me bring you a short list of the words that cannot be used in the Parliament now. Snoopgate, lie drama, crocodile tears, COVID spreader, corrupt, ashamed and many more. Multiple opposition leaders have now come out to criticize the list, with TMC MP Derek O'Brien saying that he will continue to use these words regardless.
The new list has come out. How do you look at it?
I don't know whether I should be amused about it or actually be thinking about how democracy is taking a new turn under this government. There used to be times when we've read about it because you were not born in the British era, that when the freedom fighters were sending letters back home, they were censored. Then we have also seen during the days of emergency when newspapers were printing, you had some words which were not allowed. Now we have a model where you cannot even use words like corrupt, incompetent, and drama, hypocrisy. They've all become unparliamentary. Probably we'll, in the henceforth, every opposition leader would have to give their speeches to wet the speeches by the government of the day and allow them to use some of the words. This is absolutely ridiculous and this has to be withdrawn immediately. And it goes against the spirit of democracy and for people.
अब आप लोग उन शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करेंगे या फिर मांग करेंगे कि उन शब्दों को जारी रखने दिया जाए?
अरे ये शब्द अनपार्लियामेंट्री नहीं थे, जो नहीं थे हम करेंगे, करने के बाद उनका रिएक्शन क्या होगा हम देखेंगे। ये सब शब्द उन्होंने अगर नहीं इस्तेमाल किया डिबेट में तो हम कहते थे कि भाई ठीक है, ये इन्होंने नया कुछ लाया है। पहले तो ये सब करप्शन का और जुमलों का ये सारे शब्द उन्होंने पहले ही इस्तेमाल किया है। जब उन्होंने जो इस्तेमाल किया है तो हमको करने में क्या दिक्कत है? उनको लग रहा होगा कि ये शब्द बार बार पार्लियामेंट में इस्तेमाल होने से उनके इमेज को धक्का लगेगा, ये ऐसा सोच रहे होंगे, मैं समझता हूँ।
पार्लियामेंट्री लैंग्वेज को लेकर एक नया विवाद खड़ा हुआ है जिसमें कुछ शब्दों को सूची में ऐड किया गया है। कांग्रेस का ये कहना है कि ये एक प्रयास है सेंटर और भाजपा के द्वारा उनकी आवाज को दबाने का। क्या कहेंगे सर इस पे आप?
जो शब्द असंसदीय हो जाएगा, अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली में आ जाएगा, तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि हम उनको कहेंगे वो हमको नहीं कह पाएंगे। अगर कुछ ऐसे शब्द हैं जो हमारे संसद को बोला जाता है ऑगस्ट हाउस, हम लोग अक्सर बोलते हैं कि टुडे इन दिस ऑगस्ट हाउस वांट टू से आई वांट टू रेज दिस क्वेश्चन। तो भाई ऑगस्ट हाउस मतलब पवित्र जगह, अगर अनपार्लियामेंट्री शब्दावली बढ़ाई जा रही है तो सबके लिए बढ़ाई जा रही है। कांग्रेस क्यों परेशान है या कोई विपक्षी क्यों परेशान है या ओवैसी जी क्यों परेशान है? क्या वो संसद में गाली ही देना चाहते हैं?
Now, while the opposition is furious, the government has justified this move. They've gone on to say that the list of words which are unparliamentary are actually brought every year. So essentially, the list is not new, but it is essentially just a compilation of already expunged remarks. The government has also gone on to say that the list contains words considered unparliamentary in the Commonwealth countries as well. Also going on to say most words were considered unparliamentary even during the UPA government. So what's the controversy about? Let me take that question to my colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who is now joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, that's exactly the defense that's coming in, or the rationale coming in from the government, that this list is essentially not new. It's done every year. So why is the opposition up in arms today?
Which is a fact, if you go by the Parliament Secretariat bulletins, there are always changes which are made in terms of rules, and it's not just about the words you can use inside, but also the kind of the way you can behave and the issues you can bring up. So what the government essentially is saying is precisely this, that, even in Rajasthan, even in Punjab, over there also certain words have been found objectionable and they're not being allowed to be used by the MLAs in the states concerned. And therefore, it is just a hangama or being created by the opposition over a non-issue. Opposition completely rejects this kind of logic, saying that these are routine words. We use these kind of words and there's nothing wrong about them. They're not objectionable. For example, in the course of a debate and discussion, what's wrong if you say that the government has betrayed the trust of the people of India? What is wrong if you actually say that this is a jumla by the government? Or what is wrong if you say that they are corrupt? Because, this is the kind of words which have been used by everyone at all. So what I feel really, Ridhima, is that as we move towards the beginning of this session of Parliament, which is on 18, I think one of the many issues which the opposition certainly would want to begin with, and certainly that has been conveyed to the Speaker's offices, that we are going to be on record to register our protest over telling us how we should mind our language.
Pallavi, I'll just request you to stay on with us. Our political editor, Maria Shakil, is also now joining us on the broadcast. Maria, while the opposition is fuming, they're essentially seeing this as a diktat. Some also going on to say that we will still continue to use them regardless. Talk to us about the rationale being given by the government.
So the rationale that has been given by the government, and as you were reading it as well, Ridhima, is that this is a list that is brought out every year. And what is amusing is that they have tried to create a storm without knowing the facts. According to the government, the list is not a new suggestion, but merely a compilation of words which are already expunged in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or even state legislatures. A series of examples have been given. For example, lollipop is a word which was used during the budget session of Punjab Assembly in the previous government of the Congress Party, and it was expunged. Also in Punjab Assembly, you have reached here telling a lie was expunged. In Rajasthan Assembly, a state which is currently being ruled by the Congress Party, the central government says that unpad, anargal, these are words which are expunged, and hence it is the UPA which used similar list in the past. So why should the government be seen to be targeting or stopping parliamentary procedures or parliamentary debate is the larger question. But as you heard, the sense from the opposition certainly is that they will be registering their protest. Will it lead to some kind of revisiting of that list? That is something that will be seen. But yes, as far as the monsoon session of Parliament is concerned, the stage is set for a stormy session.
I'll just request my colleagues to stay on with us, both Maria and Pallavi. Let's listen into some political reactions first.
Adds new words which you cannot use in the parliament. They are blaming government that they are stifling their opposition's voice.
I am surprised to find that opposition parties are demanding that they should be allowed to use uncivilized words in the parliament. These proposals are not only applicable to opposition parties but also the ruling party. If I want to criticize someone, we don't require the filthy words to criticize. By using healthy words, by using the words which are part of our dictionary, we can criticize the government. Because opposition lacks new perspective and alternative policy framework, therefore they are dependent on certain words created by social media and street discourse.
Lok Sabha secretariat has issued a booklet in which certain words and expressions have been marked as unparliamentary. What the Congress has to say on it, sir?
This is nothing. The latest list of banned words used by the Lok Sabha secretariat is a desperate attempt by the BJP government to control the criticism, because the famous English saying is truth is bitter. The BJP government is allergic to truth and they do not want to hear the hard-hitting truth. The truth of the matter is BJP government wants to transform the parliament into a yes-man chamber, into a cheerleading stadium, into a clapping stadium, rather than the house of accountability and answerability. Also, today is a sad day for democracy, where the Lok Sabha secretariat, rather than serving the democracy, rather than strengthening dissent, rather than strengthening criticism, is behaving like a remote-controlled, a Katputli puppet of the ruling regime. If BJP should ponder upon what kind of words they used against Dr. Manmohan Singh from 2004 to 2014 before they should have issued this list.
This booklet of Lok Sabha added new words like nikamma, you can't use nikamma, you can't use bloodbath, you can't use various other such words. How do you react to this new booklet?
You're talking about the innocuous ones. But this is treating us like school children and saying that the headmaster is going to check our speeches before they are delivered. India will cease to be a democracy if we are not allowed to speak in the parliament in any opposition. It's not a question of today or tomorrow or yesterday. It's a question of hundreds of years. This constitution is hopefully going to govern us. And democracy has taken roots. You can't uproot it by stifling our voices.
एक बात सुनिए, हम तो जो किताब जिन्होंने छपाया उनसे हम रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे कि भाई प्रोसीजर पे तो बात कर लो, पार्लियामेंट के रूल्स पे तो बात कर लो। मैं कहूंगा पार्लियामेंट में खड़े होकर कि मैं देश के प्रधानमंत्री और उनकी सरकार पर फूल फेंक कर मारूंगा क्योंकि देश के युवाओं का मुकद्दर बेरोजगारी बना दिया। तो क्या फूल को अनपार्लियामेंट्री बना देंगे आप? कंटेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है। ये लफ्ज की बहस में मत जाइए, रूल्स को, प्रोसीजर को फॉलो करने की जरूरत है।
My colleague Pallavi continues to be with us. Pallavi, so I essentially want to understand now, since the opposition is seeing this as stifling of their voices and as a diktat, what can happen now? Can they approach the speaker and can we see a revisiting of this list as well?
Yes, so what we are learning and something which we have been reporting upon is the fact that opposition parties and their representatives do plan to meet the speaker once the House reconvenes on 18th and essentially convey the point that, every member of parliament has a freedom of speech. You cannot take away those rights. Yes, there are yardsticks. Yes, there are rules on the use of certain words and no one wants to breach them. But they certainly feel that these are very mundane, routine words. And there's nothing objectionable about them. And therefore, for this kind of words to be included in the list of those which are going to be expunged is absolutely unfair and unwarranted. What we are also picking up from the Parliament Secretariat, really, Ridhima, is that they are saying that they are ready to meet up with the opposition leaders, also reassure them that it's only going to be removed if it's found objectionable within a particular context. There's no suo moto or complete ban on the usage of these words. The context will be decided and the final words will be taken by the Speaker in Lok Sabha, by the Chairperson in Rajya Sabha.
So that's an important clarification that Pallavi is bringing for us. Pallavi, thanks a lot for getting us all those details. We're now shifting our focus